Hey everyone, it's Clint. This is gonna try to be a one-take video. The thing is, when you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, it's like you're trying to get onto everybody's streams and talk to as many people as you can and be on Twitter, tweeting things out and answering emails and all these questions. And yeah, it's a lot to do when you've got a full-time job already and a family and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna do this in one take. And essentially the point of this is that maybe I was wrong about the month of January. I'm going to tell you why. I know I made a video a while ago about competition in crowdfunding. I still stand by most of what I said. I do think competition is a real thing, but competition is not always direct competition, if that makes sense. Competition is not bad. It's a really positive thing. It is, I think, the healthiest thing for any industry and for comics, even in creative fields. It's really, really important because it helps you understand what the customer wants. You can learn from your competitors. They're doing some trial and error. You can learn from them. You don't just have to learn from your own trial and error. And so it actually speeds up the learning process to see what others are doing right and wrong and all that. Now, what I had said is that I speculated that maybe the release schedule for crowdfunded comics, it might be a little bit different than other industries or comics in general. And then maybe it was a little bit more like the film industry, perhaps, where, January is not usually typically a good month for movies. And, blockbusters happen in the summer, and you've got your, the artsy films that come out in November, so to speak. Yeah, so there's all that going on. Now, the reason why is because I got all my information from the internet, from existing, polls and all that kind of stuff that existed before. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing for some months to sell less than other months, but I'm here to tell you that I think that launching in January is actually fine. As long as you have all of the same, you're using the same conventions, you're promoting your product and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason why you can't launch your crowdfunder in July or in January. Also, I would even say for December, because I'm thinking of Billy Tucci. He was very, very successful, and he had his campaign going right during that holiday season. And no one's going to deny that his campaign did really well. All right, so what I'm going to do is look under the hood, and I'm going to compare some things. This is behind, just making sure there's nothing like personal identifiable information here. But I'm looking inside the first Downcast campaign, and total I made $31,607. I don't know if you can see that off my head's in the way. But if I scroll down, I can actually look and see how much I made per day. I've looked on Backer Tracker, and I'm going to say that I'll trust Indiegogo's numbers more because they're actually the ones counting the money and counting it all up. So I didn't exactly launch at the exact same time. My first campaign I launched later in the day, later in the morning. It was like around noon Mountain Standard Time, something like that, or Central Standard Time. Around noon I launched. For the new campaign, I launched early in the morning. For me, it was just after 8 Mountain Standard Time, 8 a.m. So there's going to be a few differences here. So you can see on day one, I hope you can see that well, I earned $7,925 on the first technical day. That's not a 24-hour period. That's just day one. Once the date changed, then it went on to a new line. So the second day, I earned $4,368. All right, so I added both of those up. If I'm trying to sort of rein it into the first 24 hours, which, this will actually be a little bit over 24 hours. I'm just doing the best I can with the numbers that I have, okay? So within for sure the first 48 hours, $12,293, and this accounts for any refunds that went on or anything like that. This is the actual number within those first 2 days. So if I switch this over and look at the current campaign, the bar graph looks very different because we're only, I'm in the second day here and I'm recording this in the evening. So there's still more hours to go for this second day's, worth of backers. But the first day is 13,973. If we compare that with the last number, that means in one day, and this is going by how Indiegogo is counting a day, I earned more than I did in 2 days as far as Indiegogo counts days on this second campaign. That's encouraging. That is growth. I'm not like, this isn't cash grab, but it is steady growth for, someone with a small YouTube channel and just doing the conventional things of just daily content and using a mailing list and all the things that everybody tells you that you're supposed to do. That shows growth. Okay. Definitely shows growth. And this is also for a second book. It's not, first edition. This is the second edition to the story. So that's helpful. But if I also add, let's see, I'm going to do some math here again. All right. So I added up the first 2 days, and this next day is not finished yet. In the morning, I'll know where it lands, but we're talking 16,565. I actually could have just looked at the total. I don't know what I'm thinking here. Regardless, what does this mean about January? I had said before that launching in January is just not a good idea, generally speaking. I talked myself into launching in January because, I got a new backer. Sweet. But I talked myself into launching in January because it worked for me timing wise, personally wise, my own schedule, my work schedule, all that. It was going to be a better time for me for a lot of reasons. I tried to directly avoid direct competition, but I launched the same day as Cash Grab, and I actually think it was beneficial, honestly, because a lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were going to Indiegogo. So I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to have any answers. What this tells me is I'm going to worry a little bit less about when to launch and just worry more about letting people know I'm going to be launching, getting people interested in it. Honestly, I think that's more important, much more important than when you launch. But we'll see. I'd love to be proven wrong. Feel free to do so. And while you're at it, why don't you back Downcast Rise and Fall? You can get the whole story if you haven't backed the first campaign by getting here Volume 1 and Volume 2. Or if you just really love me and you're a super fan, this VIB bundle is a great way to go. It really helps me out. And I want to reach new heights with this campaign. So thanks very much. I hope this was helpful. Want to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And I promise to get to more regular content. I'm just, I don't know, I'll be honest, kind of self-centered right now because this is all I'm thinking about. So there we go. We're going to talk about it. Anyway, thanks, and I'll see you next time.